Carolina fans. Welcome to Two Fans in the Stands, a podcast related to all things Carolina Panthers and North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm your co-host Tony.
And I'm your co-host CJ.
Let's go. CJ, what's happening with your fam? How you feeling on this glorious Friday morning?
I'm feeling good, fam. I'm feeling real good. I'm I forgot who made the song. Was I'm looking for revenge this week. You know, we
Uh,
uh we caught a handy L by the Giants of New York last week. Not
Man,
last
did
week,
we?
last year.
Right,
So
right,
I'm definitely looking for revenge. I'm once again I'm fired up and not ready to go. Like my country folks say, I'm ready to go.
right. I'm definitely with you on that one. But listen, before we get started, CJ, is there any news about the injury report or updates, transactions heading into our week 2 matchup against the Giants?
Just a couple things. Thursday, Marquise Haynes Sr. was back on the field with a hip injury. He was a limited participant, but that is better because he did not participate at all on Wednesday.
Okay.
Frankie Louvu was limited again, and also Taylor Moulton and Brandon Smith were limited as well. And Christian McCaffrey was back to being a full participant in practice as they planned.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds good. So let's get right into it. Um, what are you looking for in this week 2 matchup with the Giants?
I just want to see the Panthers get better in the trenches,
Okay.
especially the defense. Especially the defensive line.
Preach.
They they need to create pressure. They need to create pressure. They need to make Daniel Jones uncomfortable because Daniel Jones is not Jacoby Brissett. He
No,
is
he
going
isn't.
to try and push the ball down the field. He's going to try to stretch the defense. So I would love for them to be able to hold Daniel Jones to, 133 yards passing like Jacoby Brissett had. But we'll see. They got to make him uncomfortable.
Right.
They've got to because we got our hands full trying to stop Saquon Barkley. So we've got to make him uncomfortable. And linebackers, defensive backs, we they've got to make it where he has nowhere to go,
Yeah.
because Saquon is not going to be running the ball every single play. At least I hope not. God knows, I hope not. I hope he's
I
not
know
just going to
that's
hand the
right.
ball off to him and run every single play. But we've got to make him uncomfortable. And, and the back seven have got to cover. We've got to give him nowhere to go, and that front four has to get pressure. Or
Right.
if they need to, bring in a couple blitzes or some exotic looks, they've got to get pressure on him because the pressure last week was non-existent. Non-existent. So defense has to get pressure. Offensive line has to create holes. Christian McCaffrey has to get the ball more. The receivers have to get open. Baker Mayfield, whatever he needs to do to stop defensive linemen from batting his balls down, he has to do that too. We had a
Like
lot
get
of
taller.
possessions. A lot of yes, exactly. He did say that. They asked him that in the weekly
Yes,
press
he
conference,
did.
and he said they asked him what can you do about the batted balls, and he said lay on an inverted table, get stretched out, grow a few inches.
Thanks,
So
mom and
you know,
dad.
funny as that was, it's not going to happen. So he really has to find the right throwing lanes, and on top of that, offensive linemen need to do a better job of getting those defensive linemen's hands down. They see them linemen hands down, they need to start snatching and pulling them down.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I agree.
overall, that's what I want to see from the offense and defense. Better line play, better pressure from the defense, and overall better execution from the offense. But earlier in the game and making sure that we get Christian McCaffrey involved early. We don't need to come out and wait until the end of the first half to figure things out. You know, they did
Facts.
that last week, so hopefully they got this stuff together and that doesn't happen this week. What are you looking
Uh,
forward to?
well, offensively, I want to see better overall production from week one. I think the whole Baker and Cleveland drama, on top of starting a new offensive line and rookie left tackle and implementing new offense, I think last week may have been a little premature to expect a consistent cohesion in the offense. You know what I mean? As the game got into the
Yep,
second half, I did see better play from the offense, and hopefully that second half can carry over into this week against the New York Giants. And I agree with you. I also want to see CMC get involved from the beginning. I think getting him involved early on helps sets the tone of what the offense want to do, and I think it will open up and allow Baker to see what the defensive game plan, is as far
exactly.
as attacking CMC, and then I think they can counter off of that. Now, whether that's running the rock or catching it, I definitely believe he need touches early and often. Defensively, I want to see better tackling. Period. Full stop. Uh
Yes,
Put three
yes,
stop
yes.
signs, beside that. I don't know how you want to categorize that, but we need better tackling, period. I remember Matt Rule mentioned that we had a total of 18 missed tackles in the game against Cleveland. 18 missed tackles. Like, that's crazy to even think about. You know what I'm saying? When you
It
think
is.
about a professional NFL football team and your head coach comes out a few days later and say that we had a total of 18 missed tackles. Like, that's crazy. Like, I know this was a problem last year with the defensive line not, maintaining the right gap, not playing the right gap, and stuff like that, which could lead to missed tackles and being out of position. But I'm like, come on, like, how many times do that have to be mentioned, or how many times does that have to happen for you to get a handle on it and say, okay, every week we need to emphasize this. We need to take a day out of each week and stick to the basics. A gap control, fundamentals with our hands, playing with better leverage, and tackling. I think that's something that they should focus on each and every week until it becomes like second nature to them. You know what I mean? I also want to see better communication from Shaq Thompson to make sure the defensive linemen are lining up properly and attacking the right gaps. And I say that because Shaq played, he was drafted the year he was drafted. We had Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis as our linebackers, and there was no better role models to come in and learn from, especially Luke Kuechly. Um, how to read defenses, how to get not only the defensive linemen properly lined up, but also the linebackers. That's something that Luke Kuechly did in his sleep. You know, Now, I'm not gonna say that Shaq Thompson studied film like Luke Kuechly, but I mean, if there's anybody that you want to model your game after, Luke Kuechly would be the one person that I would be hitting up saying, "Hey, what did you see here, and how did you go about doing this and doing that to make sure that everybody was on one accord?" I did read something yesterday where they say that the defensive linemen and the linebackers all watched film together, which I think that was something which I think was great. But I think that's something that should be done more often going forward. Just like
Yep.
I remember when I was playing football, the running backs always hung out a little bit with the offensive linemen because we needed to know um block, what the blocking scheme was. So we got better at reading the holes. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I think that's even better. I think that's also good for Shaq Thompson and the linebackers to watch films with the defensive linemen and to find out where the miscommunication is and get that taken care of. And last but not least, I definitely want to see better technique from the corners. J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson's were victims of their eyes being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Trusting their technique should be first and foremost on their list of corrections going forward. I think pretty much I think that with J.C. Horn, I think it had a little bit more to do with him being anxious, but also not being 100% confident in his ankle. You know what I'm saying? Which in turn, in my opinion, just me looking at the game, he didn't that confidence, that lack of confidence in his ankle calls for poor technique, which leads to you be holding, grabbing, being out of position, being off balance. And Amari Cooper is one of the best route running technicians there is in the league. So you have to be on your A game if you looking to go one on one with him, especially if you're going to play him in man coverage. But I just want to see those
Yeah.
guys tighten up, their technique, being having their eyes in the right in the right location at the right time. If you playing man, your eyes should be on your man. If you're playing zone, then you should be in a position to where you can see your man and the quarterback. You know, fundamental things like that, that's something that needs to be hopped on going forward, and that needs to be that continuous repetition. That's like every week, that needs to be drilled in them every week. But that's my overall take of things that I'm looking forward to. Going into that game against the Giants, I just want to see better overall production from the offense, and I want to see better tackling and communication, from the defense. I think if we,
Hmm.
address those three things, I think the future looks good. But hold on
Yeah.
one second. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I also wanted to mention that the Panthers went back to basics and they put an emphasis on tackling in practice yesterday. They spent a lot more time tackling because, like you said, 18 tackles. There's a whole lot of tackles to miss when that's your job. Your
Right.
job is to go out and tackle the offense. They get the ball, you put them to the ground. And
Right.
it was a lot of arm tackling. It was a lot of them going at the legs of um of Nick Chubb. And we all know, Nick Chubb got legs like tree trunks. And we're going
Right.
to face the same thing again this week with Saquon Barkley. They both
Yes,
got
we
that
are.
same build. You
Yep.
cannot go for the legs. I mean, these guys bench what not bench, but squat, 500-600 pounds each or more. I don't know for sure, but I'm
Like
sure
three
it's up
pickup
there.
trucks.
Yeah, because look, Derrick Brown need to go back to being the dump truck this week because that F-150 wasn't getting it last week.
For
But
real.
they have got to hit him, stand him up, drive him into the ground. They keep going at these guys' legs, especially last week, especially this week, and it's not going to work. And I'm glad they did this because after that, they really need to go back to square one, down to the basics, square your man up, drive him backwards, and drive him into the ground. All this,
uh,
I'm going to try to grab his foot and hold on to him. Man, that crap ain't getting it, and it's not going to get it this week at all.
no, I agree 110% with you. I saw a video that they put out about practice yesterday, and it was how they was talking about them going back to the basics and things like that. And one thing that I saw, I saw defensive line coach Paul Pasqualoni. He was doing a drill with Derek Brown. You know, basically I don't know what the drill is called, but basically him coming off the line of scrimmage and shooting his hands. You know what I'm saying? And in the drill,
Yeah.
it looked real good. He had the proper leverage. He got his
Hmm.
hands. He was shooting his hands, and that's what you want. That's what I want to see, me personally, because I'm a big fan of Derek Brown, and that's what I want to see him do every week. I look at
Hmm.
sometimes when you know he gets turned sideways easily. He also plays a little too high, and I
Yeah.
think that takes away from his leverage, that takes away from his power. But if he can keep his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, shoot his hands, violently attacking the offensive lineman, shedding, stacking your block and shedding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
You know
what
what he
basically
looks
shooting
like?
your hands. Yeah.
You know what he looks like sometimes when
What's that?
he's not doing everything you said he's doing? He looks like if somebody's running down, say they're running down the subway station trying to get to trying to get to the car, right? Get to the train.
Yeah,
And they're running and they bump somebody out the way. And you see how they throw their hands up in the air and they kind of lean to the side with their hands up in the air.
because they trying to
That's
keep
what
all their
he
bags holding on to one
yeah,
arm. Yeah.
that's what he looks like when you talk about him playing upright and not getting leverage and not using his hands violently. That's what he
Yeah.
looks like. You see the offensive lineman and they got him straight up in the air and he's constantly. It's
Yes.
almost like he's trying to trying to swim, like he's trying to reach over the top, like he's trying to get his hands down. He's trying to get in a position where he can get leverage, but it's already over. The
Yeah.
play is done. His chance is gone, and
Yeah.
he just
I
looks like like he's swimming sideways.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I look at him. And I always look at, like, last night I was looking at Chris Jones from the Chiefs. I always look at Casey Hayward. I'm not sorry, Cam
Hmm.
Hayward from
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. And I just see how these, bigger defensive linemen that's on the same size, playing that three technique, playing the same position that Derek Brown plays. And I'm like, dang, if Derek just, held the point of attack, shot his hands, became violent, stack his
Hmm.
blocks, shedding blocks, you know, he would be much more consistent and more dominant than what he has been. You got a little glimpse of it during the preseason. And I think me and you had that conversation. And I was like, Derek was looking like
Hmm.
the
We
dump
did.
truck out there for real. You know what I'm
He
saying?
was.
So
He was.
yeah, so I'm just looking for him to get that edge back, maintain it, and get that technique down and consistently use it. That's what
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to.
I agree, and I also wanted to say that I know it's only the second game of the season, and I don't want to say like this is a make or break game, but in a way I kind of do for a couple reasons. What I don't want to happen is everybody we play uses that game one footage and say, okay, this is how we beat the Panthers.
Like they did
I
with
just
Dallas
hope that
last year.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I just hope
Yeah.
that they go out and they change this around this week to where it's like, oh, okay, well, they've done this crap 2 weeks in a row. So obviously, what we saw in week one was legit and it's not a fluke. So this is what we need to do going forward to beat this team, and that's offensively and defensively,
I
both sides
agree.
of the ball. They have got to step it up, and big dump truck Brown, he needs to get that Big Mac 10 out of first gear, and get that bad boy through the gears and get rolling, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah. And
because I
and
mind you in
yeah.
the preseason game, he was out there, he was out there dumping loads on those on the offensive linemen for Buffalo. Now, mind you, they
Yeah.
were the twos,
Right.
but still. you've got to take that same effort, that same energy, and put that same kind of game plan together when the games matter. And that did not happen. I mean, Cleveland's offensive line was just, it was like they were playing patty cake with him. They was like, he ain't going nowhere. Let me just go ahead
Patty
and
cake,
slide him
patty
over and
cake.
help
Oh,
this guy out.
oh, the patty cake.
Yeah, it was wild. And I know today I'm always circling back around to Derek Brown, and I don't want to bring him up too much, but that was a big part of the game, a really, really,
Yeah,
really big part.
yeah.
And I want to say it's not just him, so I don't want anybody to think I'm picking on him, but I got to call it how I see it,
Right,
and
right.
he's a big part of our offense. I'm sorry, defense, top 10 pick. He was brought in to do what he's supposed to do, and he's supposed to wreak havoc on that offensive line and get to the quarterback. He's supposed to garner double teams so everybody else has open gaps and lanes to get to the quarterback. And
That's right.
that did not
That's right.
happen last week. That did not
That
happen
is
at
right.
all.
That is right. Hey, you ain't told no lies. That's for sure. You ain't told no lies. But
I try not to. My mama wouldn't be happy with me.
right. Right. We ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna leave the parentals out of this one. We're gonna leave them out of this one. You hear me? We're gonna
Yes,
leave them
sir.
out of this one. But CJ, hold on one second while I back my fire truck up to your house so I can
Oh,
unload
hell.
this L
Here
and
we
load
go.
up this W to take home.
Here we go.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to let the people know that
I
you
lost,
lost.
folks. Yes, I
Yeah, yeah.
lost. I
Tell the
lost.
truth,
End of
shame the
story.
devil.
Next subject.
Tell
Yes.
Yeah, tell
Come
the
on,
truth, shame the
do that.
devil.
Take us out. It's time to end this.
No, 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 no. But before we do that, let's tell the people what the final score was. Because that's always important in the win loss situation. But could you remind us what was the final score of the week one of fantasy? That
It
head to
was
head
one
matchup
twenty
between us.
something that 120
No,
something to
no,
80
no,
something.
no, no, no. It wasn't. No, no, no. We don't do
Yes, it
somethings.
was. It was
No, no, no.
120 something to 80 something.
Matter of fact, it was 124-88.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's be a little bit more precise. Let's just be a little bit more precise. But you remember you said you was gonna have a recording to refresh my memory, to go back in time to remind me of this moment in time. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you still got that recording. I don't even think you even want to hold on to it or held on to it. But I told you I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm like a fantasy football savant, and I told you what was gonna happen week one. You ain't want to
You told
respect
me
it.
what you thought was going to happen. You didn't know Jack Diddley. You didn't know what was going to happen. Just like I didn't know what was going to happen. Your ass got lucky and you won. Call it
Oh
what it
my
is.
god! So you just want to put off on luck. I don't know what I'm doing. I just won by luck. I'll take that.
Bruh,
I
bruh.
listen. I would
Matt,
take
hold on,
that.
hold on, hold on. Hey, folks. Okay, listen to this. Matt Stafford laid me a nice little 7.8 egg. Derrick Henry,
Yeah,
8.2.
your quarterback.
Jo-
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs, 8.3. CD Lamb,
okay.
4.9.
Uh
DJ
huh.
Moore,
Right.
8.0. Okay.
Uh huh.
So it's, I didn't expect that. And I know
Lot
you
of
didn't
single
expect that,
digits.
but
A
that's
lot
the
of
way it
single
happened.
digits.
Yes,
A
that
lot of
that's
single
the way it
digits.
happened. Don't put out here in on the interwebs that you just so good at this. You ain't new to this. You true to
I
this.
mean,
You
look, I had
you
Damian
hey, you
Pierce.
lucked up.
Damian Pierce got me 5 points. TJ
No,
Hawkinson got me
4.9 since you want to say
four
what
four
it really
point
was.
nine. Okay,
4.9.
okay, 4.9. TJ Hawkinson only got me 7.8. And Devontae Smith, who I had playing my
Goose egg.
flex, goose egg. And I still beat you by let's say give or take a good 50 something points. So hey,
No, that was not 50 something points.
how many points is it? 9, 800, 18. Okay, good. What, 35? Good 35
Mm-hmm.
points, 34, 35 points. But I'm saying
Yeah.
I did that with a player that didn't even get any points. So I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
you
I
know,
got you. But you had Jamar Chase with 32.9 points. Your
it's all
quarterback
right.
did his thing. You had
Did
Chubb with 19.3. You had
did you?
Tyreek Hill with 18.
But did you not have the opportunity to draft who you wanted? Just like I did you not have the opportunity to draft who you wanted? That's all.
I
That's all I'm
did.
saying.
I drafted who
Okay.
was available when my
All
pick
right.
came up. I didn't get
So
who I
after
wanted.
so
So
after
no. So no,
oh
no, 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 no,
my
no.
God.
I did
Now
not get everybody I wanted. Now that's a
well, I
lie.
didn't get
I didn't
everybody
get
I wanted
everybody
neither.
who I want. All
I
right, when they
didn't get
close the damn
everybody
thing
I
out, let's
wanted
go.
neither.
Roll the closing, dag nabbit. Let's go. Come on.
The point is, your ass got mollywopped on week 1, like I told you
Mm-hmm.
in the story. Well, that would do it
No, no,
for
no, no, no.
us.
Well, no, 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 no. Well, nothing. Well, nothing. It's just like the Panthers. Week one don't determine the whole season. So we gonna revisit this again later. Just like I said last week, we revisit this week, and and it didn't turn out for me the way I wanted it to. Now,
Listen,
go ahead and close it out.
I
No,
can
don't say
I
nothing
can
else. Go ahead and close it
lose
out.
I can lose every week the rest of the fantasy. All I was concerned about was week 1. I came, I saw, and I conquered.
Oh, you
Boom.
ain't conquered nothing, man. Man, bro, close us out, man. Let's go. I got to go to work, man. Close us
All
out. Let's get out of
right.
here.
Well, that would do it for us on Two Fans in the Stands, Week 2 preview of the Carolina Panthers versus the New York Giants as we play at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Check us out after the game as we give a full game review of the Panthers and the Giants matchup. Until then, Panthers fans, keep pounding.
Yep. Thank you for listening to Two Fans in the Stands podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and listen to us on your favorite podcast apps such as Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Tune in next week for another episode.